What if the secret to changing your entire reality wasn't a new belief, a new job, or a new partner, but a single breath? Not just any breath, but one that science can't quite explain. One that slips through the cracks of logic and lands deep in the quantum field, rearranging timelines, tuning frequencies, and unlocking potentials you've only dreamed of. You see, most people think they're breathing to stay alive. But what if breath is not just survival, but selection? A vibrational selector, tuning your body into the version of reality you're currently aligned with. What if every inhale you take is voting for a timeline, and every exhale is collapsing the ones you've outgrown? The ancients knew this. So did the mystics. And now, even the edges of science are catching up. From yogic pranayama to quantum physics, from sacred geometry to neuroplasticity, the message is the same. Your breath is not a background process. It's a sacred technology, and when you learn how to use it consciously, the world around you begins to shape itself around your new frequency. This video is your initiation into the breath you forgot, the breath that was hidden, the breath that, when done with intention, can shift your reality in ways no algorithm, therapist, or guru ever could. So take a deep breath now, because the journey begins with the one you're about to take. Most people think of breath as just oxygen exchange, something the body does to survive. But breath is not merely biological, it's architectural. It sculpts the very space in which consciousness lives. Every inhale is a bridge into form, every exhale a retreat into formlessness. This constant rhythm mirrors the ebb and flow of existence, creation and dissolution, presence and void. Breath is the first builder of perception, encoding information into the mind-reality interface long before thought arrives. In ancient traditions, breath was never separated from spirit. In fact, the word spiritus in Latin and prana in Sanskrit both mean breath and life force. This dual meaning is no accident. It's a reminder. Breath is how the invisible becomes visible. It carries frequency, a vibration that communicates with the subtle layers of reality. What you feel while breathing is not just air moving through lungs, but energy reshaping the field around you. Modern science is only beginning to grasp what mystics have long known. Subtle shifts in breathing can affect heart rate variability, brainwave states, and even quantum coherence in the body. That means breath isn't just a reaction to reality, it's a tool for shaping it. Breath creates resonance, and resonance arranges matter. In this sense, your reality is a breathing echo of your energetic signature, yet the architecture is invisible to the untrained eye. Just as sacred geometry underlies physical structures, there is a geometric rhythm to breath that builds the scaffolding of thought, feeling, and manifestation. When you breathe unconsciously, you build unconsciously. When you breathe with intention, the walls of your reality rearrange to match. The blueprint of your world lives in the cadence of your lungs. So the forgotten breath is not just a technique, it's an ancient design principle, a sacred technology buried beneath distractions and stress. When remembered, it doesn't just heal or calm you. It rewires the very framework of your reality. You're not just inhaling air, you're inhaling potential. Every breath is a vote for the world you wish to live in. In the modern world, most people are breathing to survive, not to awaken, shallow, rapid, unconscious. This isn't just inefficient, it's a trap. When breath is limited, so is energy. When breath is stressed, so is thought. Most of humanity has adapted to a breath pattern that reinforces fear, anxiety, and fragmentation. We're living in a low-frequency loop, and the breath is the gatekeeper. This loop is invisible because it feels normal. But normal today means chronically activated nervous systems, fight or flight responses on repeat, and minds that can't stop spinning. Shallow chest breathing signals the brain to stay on alert, releasing stress hormones and dimming higher cognitive function. It's a closed circuit of survival, where creativity and inner peace can't break through. Most don't realize they're stuck, because it feels like life, yet the breath knows better. Your breath is a mirror. When you breathe without presence, the subconscious rules your reality. When you breathe with depth, you override old programs. But modern society rewards the opposite. Constant stimulation, fast speech, caffeine breath. It's a frequency of disconnection from body, from intuition, from source. Ancient breathwork masters understood that breath could reprogram the subconscious, shift vibrational states, and cleanse the energetic field. That's why sacred breathing was part of initiatory schools. It was never just wellness. It was consciousness technology. But in today's world, that wisdom is buried beneath pharmaceutical promises and hustle culture. Breath has been demoted to a background process, when it should be the command key. To escape the low-frequency loop, you must reclaim the breath. Slow it, deepen it, notice it. Begin breathing as if each inhale carries cosmic intelligence, and each exhale clears outdated code. When this happens, the loop begins to crack. Awareness returns, and in that moment, you're no longer a prisoner of reality. You become its author. Every breath carries a vibration, and vibration is the language of the universe. Long before words, intentions were transmitted through frequency, what modern physics calls wave function, ancient mystics called resonance. Your breath, when fused with clear intention, becomes a vibrational broadcast. And this broadcast doesn't just echo within your body, it shapes the field around you. At the quantum level, particles respond to observation. This is the observer effect, a core principle in quantum mechanics. But what the textbooks often leave out is the energetic bridge. Attention alone doesn't shift reality. It's the quality of the observer's frequency, their emotional energetic state, that alters the outcome. And nothing shifts that frequency faster than conscious breath paired with intention. Breathing without intention is like shouting into the void. But when breath is infused with vision, with a felt sense of outcome, it becomes a tuning fork. You're no longer just inhaling air, you're sending coded vibrations into the quantum field. You begin to resonate with outcomes that were once invisible. What was probability becomes experience. The field organizes around your breath. This is why certain breath practices create profound shifts. Holotropic breathing, pranayama, coherent heart breathing, they all leverage vibration. They don't just regulate physiology, they rewire reality. When breath matches belief, the field responds. It's not magic, it's physics tuned by consciousness. So the next time you breathe, ask, what am I intending? What frequency am I embodying? Because the universe doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you are. And you are never more vibrationally malleable than in the space between inhale and exhale. That's where the real shift begins. That's where intention becomes reality. Across every ancient civilization, Egypt, India, Tibet, the Americas, sacred breathwork was never just a wellness practice. It was encoded into ritual, architecture, and mythology, hidden in plain sight. The pyramids weren't just tombs, they were resonance chambers. Yogic sutras weren't just philosophy, they were blueprints for energetic liberation. And in nearly every ancient language, the word for breath was synonymous with life force, spirit, or divine essence. The Egyptians spoke of the Sekhem energy, activated through deep nasal breathing during temple rites. In Vedic texts, pranayama was not optional. It was the very mechanism for accessing higher states of consciousness and merging with the cosmic self. The Mayans practiced specific breathing rhythms to induce trance states for astral travel and prophetic insight. These cultures knew breath was the original portal. Even biblical references hint at this hidden science. God breathed life into man is not metaphor, it's initiation. The breath of life was the download of frequency intelligence, embedding the human form with the divine algorithm. And yet, this sacred knowledge was eventually veiled, coded into symbols, passed through mystery schools, and finally buried under dogma and industrial distractions. But it was never truly lost. It's been hiding in plain sight, in the spiral patterns of sacred geometry, in the rhythmic chants of mantras, in the exhale of a monk's stillness. Breath is the universal language, unchanged across time and culture, and the ancients, in their wisdom, left us clues. They knew future generations would forget, so they embedded reminders everywhere, in stone, sound, and story. Today, rediscovering these breath secrets isn't just a spiritual novelty, it's a necessity. The modern mind has drifted far from source, but the body remembers. When we engage with these ancient patterns, we reactivate dormant DNA, access higher intelligence, and realign with the original human blueprint. The secrets were never truly gone. They were waiting for us to slow down and breathe. Most believe time is linear, a straight line from past to future, but that's a construct of perception, not a law of nature. In the quantum realm, all possibilities exist simultaneously. Every decision, every thought, splits reality into countless branches. Parallel timelines unfold endlessly. The question isn't whether you can shift, it's how. And breath, when used with precision, becomes the portal. When you alter your breath, you alter your brainwave state. Shifting from beta to alpha to theta allows you to access layers of consciousness normally hidden. In theta, time dissolves. The subconscious becomes malleable. And it's here, in the breath-induced trance, that reality becomes fluid. This is where the soul can reach across timelines and choose differently. Ancient shamans knew this. They used rhythmic breathing to journey between worlds, navigating alternate realities for healing, insight, and prophecy. In modern terms, they were collapsing wave functions, choosing new quantum outcomes through embodied frequency. The breath was not for relaxation, it was for dimensional navigation. But this isn't just mysticism, it's pattern recognition. Each breath you take calibrates your vibrational identity, and identity determines timeline. When you breathe in fear, you lock into a fear-based future. When you breathe in coherence, gratitude, or surrender, you tune into a reality where those states already exist. Breath is the energetic passport that stamps your entry into parallel versions of now. So the next time you feel stuck, lost, or trapped in a loop, don't try to force change through thought alone. Instead, shift the breath. Let it be deep, rhythmic, and intentional. Feel the new version of you already breathing in another realm. Merge with it. That's not fantasy, that's quantum embodiment. And it begins with a breath you've always had, but never truly used. The mind and breath are not separate systems, they are entangled, dancing partners in the symphony of consciousness. Every inhale whispers instructions to the brain. Every exhale is a signal to release. This axis, the connection between breath and thought, is the hidden switchboard of your inner world. And when used consciously, it becomes a gateway to rewire your mental and emotional patterns at their core. Neuroscientists now confirm what yogis always knew. Breath controls brainwave states. Shallow breathing keeps you in beta, alert but anxious. Deep, slow breathing shifts you into alpha and theta, relaxed, creative, and intuitively open. These are not just states of relaxation, they are states of reprogramming. In theta, the subconscious becomes pliable, like wet clay. You can rewrite beliefs, dissolve trauma, and install new realities, all through breath. There's also a direct link between breath and the limbic system, the emotional center of the brain. Conscious breathing lowers amygdala activity, reducing fear and reactivity. It also activates the prefrontal cortex, where higher reasoning, vision, and long-term planning reside. In other words, breath helps you evolve, not just spiritually, but neurologically. But here's where it gets quantum. When your breath aligns with intention, you create coherence between the heart and the brain. This heart-brain resonance emits a measurable electromagnetic field, which interacts with the quantum field around you. That means breath isn't just a tool for inner peace, it's a signal to the universe. It says, I'm ready. Align me with the timeline where this vision is already real. So every conscious inhale becomes more than oxygen. It's a command. Every exhale is a release of old programming. Over time, this practice rewires not only your neural circuits, but your destiny. Because breath, when used with awareness, isn't just life support, it's life design. Most people live in a breath pattern designed by fear. It's not their fault, it's the design of the matrix, a system built on urgency, scarcity, and stimulation conditions, shallow breathing, which in turn sustains a survival mindset. When you breathe only to survive, you reinforce the illusion that you are separate, powerless, and reactive. But breath can be the key to escape, because to breathe consciously is to create consciously. Survival breath is tight, fast, and chest-based. It's the body saying, I'm in danger. It triggers stress hormones, narrows perception, and locks you into short-term thinking. This is the loop most people are in, not because they choose it, but because they've forgotten there's another way. But when you slow the breath, move it down into the belly, and anchor it in the present, you send a new signal. You tell your biology, I am safe to create. That shift changes everything. Creativity cannot emerge from panic. Intuition cannot speak through tension. The moment you breathe differently, you begin to exit the survival matrix and enter the creation field. You start accessing timelines beyond fight or flight. You begin designing your reality instead of reacting to it. It's not just a new breath, it's a new operating system. Ancient initiates used breath to transition between states of consciousness, from the mundane to the mystical, from the reactive to the transcendent. They weren't just calming themselves, they were upgrading the software of the soul. In breath, they found the doorway between programming and potential. And in choosing that doorway, they became creators instead of captives. You can do the same. When life feels compressed, overwhelming, or stuck, check the breath. Is it the breath of a creator or a prisoner? Shift it, deepen it, anchor it in your heart space. Because every conscious breath is an act of rebellion against the matrix and a declaration of your divine authorship. Inside the human heart lies a space, not metaphorical, but real. Ancient mystics and modern scientists alike speak of this sacred chamber, a place where electromagnetic coherence, intuition, and divine intelligence converge. It's often dormant, not because it's broken, but because it's waiting for the right key. That key is breath, directed with presence and love. This hidden chamber isn't physical in the ordinary sense. It exists at the intersection of biology and spirit. In yogic and Egyptian traditions, this space is known as the seat of the soul, the access point to higher consciousness and non-local knowing. Modern heart-brain coherence studies validate this, showing that when breath is aligned with elevated emotion, like gratitude or compassion, the heart emits a field that harmonizes the entire body and interacts with the quantum field. When you breathe into the heart, something awakens. It's not just emotional regulation, it's energetic resurrection. You begin to remember, not just who you are, but what you are. Breath infused with heart awareness activates dormant codes, what some call Christ consciousness, or the higher self template. This is where knowing becomes gnosis, and it doesn't come through thought. It comes through stillness, through felt presence, through breath. This is why many ancient breath practices begin with placing the hand on the heart. It's not symbolic, it's directional. Your awareness flows where your breath goes. And when both are placed inside the heart field, something divine unfolds. You move from head-centered to heart-centered consciousness, and from this place, your reality begins to bend toward grace, synchronicity, and alignment. So don't just breathe to relax, breathe to awaken. Breathe into the heart not as a muscle, but as a multidimensional gateway. The more you do, the more life will mirror back your true state, not survival, not separation, but coherence, clarity, and unconditional love. You've heard the science, the mysticism, the forgotten truths, but now it's time to embody it. The quantum breath technique isn't just a practice, it's an initiation, a ritual of reconnection, a way to shift your frequency so completely that reality has no choice but to rearrange. You're not just breathing, you're realigning with the infinite versions of yourself that already exist. Step 1. Find stillness. Sit upright, spine aligned, feet grounded. Close your eyes. Bring your awareness to the space just above your heart. This is your command center. This is where breath, thought, and field converge. Step 2. Inhale for a count of 4 through the nose, drawing the breath down into the belly, then gently up into the heart. Visualize golden light entering with the breath, a frequency encoded with intelligence. Hold for a count of 4. Feel it crystallize in your heart. Step 3. Exhale for a count of 6 through the mouth, slowly and softly. Imagine releasing any static frequencies, fear, doubt, tension. Let your breath become an energy cleanse. Repeat this cycle for at least 3 minutes, letting your awareness stay rooted in the heart. Step 4. Add intention. On the inhale, silently affirm what you're calling in. I am coherence. I am aligned. I shift timelines now. Let the words vibrate in your cells. Feel their truth. On the exhale, release what no longer serves. I release distortion. I let go of fear. I dissolve illusion. Step 5. Anchor the shift. After 7 to 10 rounds, sit in silence. Feel your field. Notice the changes. You've done more than breathe. You've altered your quantum signal. You are now tuned to a new frequency, and life will begin to echo that shift in ways both subtle and spectacular. This is not a one-time fix. It's a practice of mastery, a way to wake up every day and say, I am the breath, I am the field, I am the creator. And when that becomes your living frequency, the forgotten breath is no longer forgotten. It becomes your most powerful ally. There comes a moment in every seeker's path where the tools of thought are no longer enough, where logic runs dry and words lose their edge. In that moment, what remains is breath, pure, intelligent, vibrational breath, the last thread connecting you to the infinite. You've now been reminded of a forgotten truth. Breath is not passive. It's a cosmic command, a language spoken between dimensions, and when you wield it with presence and purpose, you're not just healing the body or calming the mind, you're rewriting the script of your life. You become the anomaly in the matrix, the one who remembers. So the next time you feel the weight of limitation pressing in, don't reach for escape, reach inward, find the breath, let it deepen, let it align, let it become your tuning fork until the world around you rises to meet your new frequency. This is your power, not outside you, not hidden in some distant truth, but here, now, in the breath you choose in this very moment. If this message sparked something inside you, a memory, a recognition, a shift, then honor that. Like this video, subscribe to the Cosmic Awakening channel, and share this breath with someone still asleep. Because reality is shifting, and so are you.